something to show. The aim of my speech is to inspire, to light some sort of proverbial fire. But I'm sorry, I'm still counted amongst boys. I'm too young to make you fall for my verbal ploys. And so, in this my final speech, all I can do is beseech. Let the times be joyous or bleak. Speak, speak, speak. What is it that separates us from an animal herd? But the infinite power of the spoken word. More powerful than lightning and thunder. It has torn nations asunder. Have you stood before a mob and stifled back a sob to witness that chaos of minds from different races of different kinds? Let then your inner Antony awake. Let that thirst arise that nothing can slake. To be heard, to be seen. Come on, get mean. Fear not mockery or ridicule. This is not some grammar school. Let the fire roll off thy tongue. Come on, take that lunch. Subdue those animal beasts, fat from so many ignorance-fueled feasts. Keep them quiet, keep them civil, and remember, fear not and forget evil. Lift them from their dark abyss. Raise your voice, shake your fist, and give forth to your voice. It's not a gift, but a choice. Oh yes, my friends, it's not a boon. It's there in every genius and in every loon. That dance of logic and emotion, that verbal magic motion. Remember that you are a god, more real than any that heaven did trod. So come and shed your fear. Be more great than you could bear. And so, my friends, I let my poet go still, and hope you bear me no ill will, and you did not find too perverse this my humble verse. Greetings everyone. I thought I'd start with a little poetic efforts to my inspirational speech, and I'll explain why in a moment. So my speech said you need to inspire, and I frankly found that a challenge. I mean, I'm barely an inspired individual myself, and you're expecting me to inspire a large group of intelligent, able-bodied, well-minded people. I really doubt I could do that. And so someone within me said, okay, instead of trying to inspire all of them, why don't you try and inspire yourself? And I said, okay, let's try and inspire myself. What do I need to inspire myself of? And I went back immediately to my first meeting, and not my first Toastmasters meeting, the first day that the vice president membership of our fair club came up to me and said, hey, you know what, there's this thing called Toastmasters. Do you think you'd be interested? And as I said in my poem, those ignorantly sloth-fueled beasts, that drive of laziness that within me that says, you know what, I'm not interested, I don't want to do this, I don't know what it's about. And I said, that's ridiculous, that's not a good reason to go for it. And then I found out the real reason I didn't want to go for. I was afraid. I was afraid of speaking. I was afraid of making a fool of myself. It may come as a surprise to you, but I don't actually feel comfortable making myself a buffoon in front of strangers. I was afraid of speaking. And at the time, I was actually afraid of writing. I enjoy reading books, and I have seen the magic that people can do with the written word. I have heard some great people speak, and I've seen what they can do with the spoken word. And in my mind, this conviction came up like a big wall. You can never be as great as them. You can never be as great as them. I mean, who am I to compare myself to Shakespeare? Do you think I can become Shakespeare? No. Do you think I could become Antony? No. Do you think I can give a speech that could rouse an entire mob? No, I could not. And that conviction became a certainty. And I thought, well, let's find out whether this is indeed for true. And that's the one reason I joined Toastmasters. And from the first speech that I ever made to this very second now, I can feel my heart in my throat. I can feel those demons at the back of my brain screaming, you're being an idiot, stop, stop, stop. I can feel it all. And even though I wouldn't say that I'm Antony, I won't say I'm Shakespeare, I can say I'm getting there. I'm trying. And that is what I'm trying to inspire you with today. People have often come up to me and said, hey, you're a great speaker. Wow, it's amazing. Dubinsky opens all of my speeches with another great speech. I thank you for your praise, and I appreciate you on your taste. But the fact is, I don't think I'm a great speaker. I think I'm just a speaker. I try as hard as I can and as much as I can. And if there's one thing I could leave you with today is just keep trying. Do not do if the common phrase says do one thing every day that terrifies you. Well, I do one thing every Tuesday that terrifies me, and that is speaking in front of you all. So we established that speaking is a fear that needs to be overcome. So now let's see how you could overcome that fear. Think of it this way. Speaking is a creative outlet. When we write, whether it be code or words, when we speak, whether it be a speech or asking the grocer for your change, when you walk, be it the most drunken stroll that you can imagine or a graceful dance, it's all a creative outlet. It's a way for you to express yourself. And at the least, don't think that you're trying to, top Kofi Annan at a United Nations assembly. Think you're just trying to convince your grocer to give you exact change instead of those candies that they annoy you with. So I would try the second message that I would try to leave you with is that it's just an expression for who you are. It's nothing to be ashamed of, and there's no good or bad. It's just do it as much as you can. The next thing that I would inspire you with is there is no such thing as talent. Talent is a bullshit word. There is no such thing as aptitude. That's a bullshit word. Those are words, as far as I'm concerned, which do not exist. Now, as you could have seen from the first part of my speech, I'm not exactly the greatest poet in the world. I'm sure somewhere Wordsworth is turning over in his grave, and if he could arise from his tomb, he would probably come and strangle me. But I'm still going to write more poems. I'm going to still try and write more poems. Let me correct myself right there. The reason I started this speech with a poem is that I have been writing poems since I was 6 years old. And on last week, my mother was gathering up my old things in preparation for my leaving. And she found a book of poems that I wrote. And I heard myself. If I could cry, I would have cried harder than I ever did in my life. But at that point, I was simply so embarrassed about the tripe that I had written. And then part of me said, you know what, you passed that. It's over. And then the other part of me, the crazy part, the same part that induced me to join Toastmasters, the same part that's making me go on, said, you know what, why don't you do a poem for your final speech? And that's why I did a poem. And if I could inspire you with one thing, I would inspire you to find whatever it is that you think you are worst at, in my case poetry, and do it. Face it head on. I'm sure that the best scientists in the world sucked at math. Hey, if they can suck at math and win Nobel Prizes, we can become CCs. And I'm going to end my speech now. I wasn't much for emotion. I hope my reason has sort of triumphed with you. And on a personal note, I would like to thank you for tolerating me for over 21 meetings. And thank you.